Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to another Line Vibe Live podcast. I'm your host, Yuri Arman Kemp, here from Nassau, Bahamas, the beautiful Nassau, Bahamas, coming to you again with another Line Vibe Live podcast. Please, if you have not done so, please like, share, and subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube page. That's Line Vibe 77. That's Line Vibe 77 on Facebook and YouTube. Please do like and subscribe to our page. It's really helping us out a lot. We're getting there. We're getting some more subscribers coming in. So please, we really like all our viewers to really punch that like button, that subscribe button. It really would help us. So we're going to have a kind of a decent show tonight, a good show tonight. We have some fun stuff at the end of the night. So thank you for tuning in again. And I just want to start by saying, I had a good week this week. Many of you know I have a 9-to-5 job. I had a 9-to-5 job. I quit that shit. I quit it. That was the best thing I did. I resigned on Wednesday. I started a new job on Monday. Better job, better paying job. Anyway, I wouldn't go into my personal business like that. But yeah, things are looking up, man. So I do this on my spare time. I like to do this on my spare time because I like running this podcast. It's a blessing. And you're one step away from, reaching the masses of people. So I just want to appreciate all you guys for tuning in and actually helping us out on this podcast. You've really been doing a great job with us, and I thank you so much. So, there's a lot to talk about tonight, so let's get right into it. I don't know if you guys heard about this oil spill in Trinidad and Tobago. It was a massive oil spill that the Prime Minister had labeled a national disaster. It's a huge oil spill off the coast of Tobago. Prime Minister, what's his name? Not Skerrit. Skerrit is Dominica. The Trinidadian Prime Minister, Rowley, Dr. Keith Rowley, said that, this is a national disaster. And they're trying to get to the bottom of where this oil spill came from. Apparently, from what investigators have already told us thus far, that it is from a Turkish registered ship. And it was supposed to be carrying wood and other materials, but it had an excess amount of low oil in it. If you go to our Caribbean Magazine Plus news site, and you see the top story there, and you'll see that, the oil spill, it covers the Tobago coast. It's a disgusting disaster. It's absolutely unbelievable how much oil came out of one ship. And the strange thing about this oil spill is that all of the crew members of the ship have disappeared. Nobody knows where the crew went. There's nobody on the ship. The ship just started leaking oil, and all the crew members disappeared. So this is a disaster. Nobody knows what's happening with it. So everyone has their own suggestions, right? Everyone's saying that it could be Venezuelan. I'm a dummy. I'm a real dummy. I was talking all that while I didn't have my audio on. Please forgive me. So thank you for joining for another Line Vibe Live podcast. Let's start right back from the top. I'm your host, Yuri Arman Kemp here in Nassau, Bahamas. And I really appreciate you guys for coming in and joining with us tonight. So please, if you have not done so, please like, share, and subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube page, Line Vibe 77. That's Line Vibe 77 on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us. So let's get right back into what we were talking about. Yeah, I was talking about this oil spill in Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah, this oil spill that's off the coast of Tobago from a supposedly Turkish registered ship. Just started leaking oil off Tobago, and investigators now having a massive cleanup effort off of the coast of Tobago right now. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley had called it a national disaster where it's so bad. If you go to Caribbean Magazine Plus, our sister news site, and you'll see the story there, and you'll see a short video there as well, and you'll see all the oil that's slicking onto the coast of Tobago. It's a disgusting disaster. It's terrible. It's terrible. And everyone's wondering what happened to the crew members. The crew members just up and disappeared. Nobody knows what happened to the crew. The ship is just a ghost ship. Okay, it was supposed to be transporting lumber and other building materials, but then it had an excess amount of oil in it. Why an excess amount of oil? Now, people are speculating that this ship came from Venezuela and they were trafficking oil from Venezuela somewhere else. And it just, ran to reefs off the coast of Tobago and, had a huge oil spill. And so, people in worker crews and cleanup crews are in Tobago right now trying to clean up this national disaster. And which could take hundreds of millions of dollars to clean up. Because if you see the amount of oil that's washed up on the shores of Tobago, you will say, my goodness, this looks like the BP disaster back in 2008, 2009. But no, this is right off the coast of Tobago. Okay? Like I said, from what we understand now, it's a Turkish registered ship, and the crew have disappeared. No one knows who the crew is, and they just up and disappeared. So no one knows what's happening with it. So we're going to follow this story straight to the end. We're going to see exactly what's going on with it. But if you go to our Caribbean Magazine Plus website, you will see the story there with this Trinidad oil spill. And it's absolutely horrific, man. So just take a look at that. Our second story tonight. Nayib Bukele, the El Salvador Prime Minister-elect, is now the official president for his second consecutive term, in El Salvador. As you know, Nayib Bukele is very popular for his widespread gang crackdown in El Salvador. He's cleaning the country. And so he's officially ratified as the president of El Salvador right now as we speak. It happened 2 or 3 days ago. And so he's going to continue on with his gang crackdown policy. You know, he's gotten massive widespread appeal for his harsh take on these gangs, this MS-13 gang and the Barrio 19 gang in El Salvador. And so he's doing a great job, what people have said. So they've voted him with a resounding majority. And he's only 42 years old. He's a millennial, you know. And he has taken the bull by the horns. He's really cleaning up El Salvador. El Salvador is now one of the cleanest, safest places to go in the world right now. After being one of the highest murder rate countries in the world. He's cleaned up in the space of about 4 years. You have to say the man is effective. And that's why he voted him back in. So Nayib Bukele, congratulations, he's been officially ratified as the president of El Salvador for a consecutive term. So, go with him. God go with him. Now, to another regional story out of the Caribbean. Is Mia Mottley's government falling apart? One of her backbenchers, Ralph Thorne, has been officially sworn in as the leader of the opposition. We knew about the story from months ago that he had actually defected from the Barbados Labour Party, the party that Mia Mottley heads as Prime Minister. But he's been officially sworn in as the leader of the opposition as of Wednesday. Okay? And so, no one knows exactly what Mr. Thorne, he's the Member of Parliament for the Christchurch South constituency. And he's going to stand as an independent leader of the opposition in the Barbados Parliament. No one knows if he's going to remain independent. Is he going to join Dr. Ronnie Yearwood and the Democratic Labour Party, who have no seats in the House right now? Because, you know, Mia Mottley and the Barbados Labour Party, they have all the seats. They run a super majority, a full majority actually, a landslide, all the seats. There's a second consecutive win, all the seats for the Barbados Labour Party. So, it's going to be pretty lonely inside the Barbados Parliament for Mr. Ralph Thorne. And he hasn't said his intention. He's going to stay independent. He's going to join the DLP with Ronnie Yearwood, or he's going to join a third party. No one knows what Mr. Thorne is going to do. But he's an intelligent man. He's a King's Counsel. He's a lawyer. And so, you know, maybe he just parlaying this thing out, you know, trying to see exactly how much power he can leverage from both parties. Because right now, the DLP has no seats. They are so weak. And they would need a voice in Parliament to speak on their behalf against the, the majority of the Mia Mottley government. And I don't care what you say, man. You know, I'm glad that happened because no one wants a full majority where one party wins all the seats. That's not a democracy. And Barbadians weren't going to enjoy that. And I doubt that many are enjoying that, really. I mean, they may like Mia Mottley. That's fine. But you're not going to enjoy it after a while when you see that the buck stops with them, all with them. They're going to become arrogant. They're going to start abusing people. I'm telling you. So far, she's kept her nose clean. And she's been more interested in being an international media darling than actually being an authoritarian Barbados. But we'll see. So Ralph Thorne is going to stand on his own. So that's Mr. Thorne there. Now, we spoke about Venezuela early on tonight with regard to that oil ship that sunk off of Tobago. So now Venezuela is going back at Guyana again. Apparently, Venezuela, they're massing their military on the border of Guyana right now, the Essequibo region. Okay? They're massing their border in the Essequibo region. And so, this comes after Guyana signed some oil contracts with a Norwegian company called Deep Ocean for subsea construction and inspection, maintenance, and repair. And Venezuela is claiming that they're signing these illegal contracts in Venezuelan territory, in the disputed region. So Venezuela is sending troops to the border for a confrontation. So any private command in that border region right there, be very wary, be very careful. Because Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela is not taking any prisoners. He sounds very unhinged, to say the very least about it. And so, you know, Guyana is still grinding oil contracts, so we'll see how this goes. And we'll see how serious Maduro is. For an international story, international news now. I don't know if you guys have heard, Navalny, Alexei Navalny out of Russia. He died in prison in Russia. He was one of Vladimir Putin's staunchest critics. He was an opposition leader. He's been jailed. He's had a 19-year sentence, and he died in prison yesterday. God rest his soul. And he's one of Vladimir Putin's staunchest critics. And everyone was saying that the day before he died, he was very healthy, he was happy, he was smiling, and all of a sudden he ended up dead inside his prison cell. And this comes, just about a week after that international interview that Vladimir Putin had with Tucker Carlson, talking about some of the issues in Russia. So, Putin is flexing his muscles, I guess. But no one knows exactly what happened to Alexei Navalny. No one knows what happened. And doctors are trying to figure out now exactly his cause of death. And we'll see how, heavily guarded that secret's going to be. They tell the truth or and they try to obfuscate this even more. And like I said, he was one of the most staunchest critics in Russian opposition. And he has been allied with agencies like the Anti-Corruption Federation in Russia, with this guy called Ivan Zhadanov. And he said, Mr. Zhadanov said it was highly likely that Navalny had been killed and that a murder actually happened in a Russian prison. And we don't know that for sure. The doctors are trying to get to the bottom of that right now, so let's wait until the doctors have something to say about it. I'm going to play a short clip from the BBC so I can show you exactly what happened here. Let's go here.
Well, just a reminder of our breaking story here on BBC News, and that is that in the past few minutes, Russia's prison authorities have announced that the leading Kremlin critic Alexei Navalny has died. A statement online said that Mr. Navalny had felt poorly after a walk and lost consciousness soon afterwards. It added that doctors had arrived straight away, but that all attempts at resuscitation had failed. Now, details are still coming in, and I'm still joined by my colleague Vitaly Shevchenko. Vitaly, I just wanted to bring this in because we've just heard from Mr. Navalny's press secretary, who is saying that she has no confirmation at the moment of Mr. Navalny's death. But I assume that we should take what the Russian authorities are saying as fairly confirmed news.
I'd be highly surprised if what's being reported by this official source were to be untrue. It's true that they have a certain track record of being economical with the truth, certain Russian official sources, but clearly this is not a matter they would misreport. Now, given that he was in jail and given that that particular prison is so remote, so far up in the north, it's obviously very difficult to ascertain what exactly happened to Mr. Navalny, if he's dead, what exactly caused his death. We know that the conditions under which he was held are pretty tough, and he had complained about them repeatedly. He had been put in what's known as the punishment cell on numerous occasions. His physical appearance since his incarceration in 2021, of course, it's suffered. He was looking gaunt and thin in his video appearances from the jail that he was being kept, and that tells us that, of course, there are reasons to believe that his health was in danger in the Russian jail.
For many people who are just coming to this story, they may know the name Alexei Navalny. They know that he was a prominent critic of the Kremlin, a thorn in Vladimir Putin's side, but they perhaps don't know enough about why. He was the leader of an anti-corruption movement in Russia, someone who had a lot of support in the country as well as critics. Can you just tell our viewers a little bit more about how significant he was and why he was such a problem to Vladimir Putin?
Well, I think we have to start by saying that Russian media space and the way Russian politics operates, it's been very restrictive for years. So for Mr. Navalny, it's always been an uphill struggle to gain support within Russia. He was denied access to the media. It was really difficult for him to campaign and rally. And yet, despite all that, his investigative videos that he posted online. They received millions of views, and he and his team, known as the Anti-Corruption Foundation, they investigated official corruption by alleging corruption by President Putin himself and his key officials. And even though Mr. Putin, his spokesman Dmitry Peskov, they repeatedly denied that there was any reason for them to pay any attention to Mr. Navalny whatsoever. Clearly they did, and even the way they referred to him without mentioning his name suggested that they were concerned, to say the least. So when Mr. Navalny was poisoned in August 2020, of course, fingers started pointing at the Russian security service, and later laboratories in the West, they confirmed that he was poisoned with military-grade Novichok agent. So that's why so many people are saying that Mr. Navalny has, for years, been the target of the Kremlin's pressure.
So there you have it, Alexei Navalny dead in Russia. So we just have to keep on pushing for open democracy and freedoms that we enjoy here in the Western world, and keep that, sacrosanct. We have to continually thank the Almighty God that we live in the side of the world that doesn't jail political opposition like they have in Russia, and that we keep freedom open, and people have a freedom of choice, freedom to say, freedom of religion, and freedom to exercise their political right when they want to. So, Mr. Alexei Navalny, we appreciate your service, and thank you very much. Alexei Navalny dead inside Russia. May you rest in peace. I hate to transfer from something so somber, and something more frivolous now. But I have to, because I ran into this a clip of this movie called American Pimp. It was done by the Hughes brothers, Albert and Alan Hughes. It was done back in 2006, they said. And I ran into a clip. I just find American Pimp lyrics so hilarious, man. Even though they're talking about some really macabre stuff, some really disgusting stuff, and the way they treat women, right? But I find the lyrics so incredibly hilarious, right? I ran into this guy called Bradley Honorable. It was a clip on YouTube, and it just popped up in my algorithm, and I started listening to the guy. And the guy, the way he talks to women, the way he puts the lyrics down is absolutely hilarious, man. I'll play the clip for you right now. This is from American Pimp with Bradley Honorable.
Say your name.
Honorable.
Bradley Honorable.
Honorable.
Okay. And this is. Okay. Okay. Give us your name and where we at right now.
Bradley Honorable, and we're in this Las Vegas, Nevada.
Las Vegas.
In this New York, New York.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna jump right into the questions and shit.
Yeah.
When'd you start pimping? How long you been pimping?
Since I've been about 16.
16?
Yeah, early age. Yeah.
Right. Why'd you start pimping? What made you want to pimp?
Well, nothing, just the type of environment I was around, in Seattle, really wasn't no gangs around there in 85, 86 when I started coming up. So it was like the environment, all the people that was having things and, riding in big cars and wearing that big jewelry and all that fly shit, they was pimping, and all the little bitches worth having and that was doing things, they was hoeing. So that's like everybody wanted to get with that,
so
know what
Seattle
I mean?
has a big pimp host?
Yeah, it's a lot of pimps come out the city. Ain't no question. Yeah,
right.
A lot of good hoes turn up out of there too. Primarily WWs.
Right.
Yeah, white women.
White women?
Yeah, predominantly,
Speaking of that, that's Seattle is a very interracial city, I guess.
Yeah. They ain't really too biased as far as mixing it like that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Tell what kind of women you pimp on.
Well, I'm liking what's liking me. Anything that's gonna come through the door with it, I might fuck with if the coast is clear. But now I like to have a white bitch. You know what I mean? Because as the cliche go, they do let you pimp. Black bitch gonna make you pimp, because she gonna have one of them old snapdragon mouths, want to loud talk, out talk, wrong talk a pimp, where Peckerwood just gonna be meek. Pimp can pimp with his hands in his pocket. Ain't never got to raise your hand, you know what I mean? Just about out your mouth.
Right.
And the bitch gonna come through your door with it.
So how many women you got right now?
About 2.5. Yeah, about 2.5. I'm gonna tell the truth, shame the devil, you know what I mean? Because one bitch kind of on hold, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
And they're all white girls.
No, I got a Peckerwood, a black bitch, and a Filipina right now.
So
You know, so I'm mixing it up right now.
How you deal with all them personalities? Let's talk about that. I mean, do they all live in the same place with you?
A couple of them, you know, some hoes won't let you pimp, you know, on them real smooth if it's another bitch around. But now it's all about a pimp's discretion. So, you know, the hoe gonna do what I say. But now if it's comfortable for them to have their own joints, you know, we'll do that. But now if it's tight or if we own going somewhere else, you know, everybody all together now.
Right.
You know, that's not a problem. Everybody doing the same thing for the same person. Yeah.
How old are you?
27.
27. You got the same age.
Yeah.
So check it out. I mean, everybody's perception of a pimp is that you got 3, 4 hoes, whatever. You having like crazy menage-a-trois every night. Everybody fucking everybody, licking pussies, that type of shit. What?
Well, no, for one thing, I'm not going to eat no pussy. But now, for two things, you know, like I said, it's a pimp's discretion now, you know. If it's a fine joint and, you know, the bitch been coming through the door and been paying it, socking it to my pocket like a skyrocket, you know, I might hit that joint, you know, if I'm liking on her. You know, I'm a man now.
Right.
But now, you know, I'm just not fucking everything that come through the door.
Right.
Something fresh. I don't really know too much about the bitch. Bitch ain't hitting no clinic or nothing for a pimp, you know what I mean? I'm not going to run up in the bitch because the bitch probably ain't paid, you know, enough anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell us about speaking to the clinic. I mean, how regularly do these girls get checked up? Is that your responsibility?
No, well, I make it my responsibility if I see the hoe ain't responsible enough, you know what I mean? Because that's why I'm pimping on her, because she can't think for herself. And if she ain't doing that, I might get the hoe in there, you know, every 6 months or something,
Right.
you know, see what's up with her, you know.
You might take what? You might do what every 6 months?
Take her on into the clinic, send her in there, let that hoe get on the phone and make her appointment and go see about herself.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
you know.
So, well, let's bring me to another question I'm going to ask him. When you having sex with your women, do you practice what they call safe sex? Or?
Oh yeah, I'm putting on my Jimmy hat, man. Yeah, I don't leave home without that one. You know what I mean?
Right. So the women you're with, your hoes, is there a love relationship there? What kind of relationship is it?
Well, now if the bitch been beating my door down for a few years, you know, I'm gonna love that dough. You know what I'm saying? But now it's gonna be a feeling there. You know, if the bitch been reaching you for a while. You know what I'm saying? But it's not really no love, Jones. Because way before me and the bitch have a love connection, it's going to be a bad connection if it ain't no money involved. You know what I'm saying? It's a big difference between the fun part and the funds part. It ain't no fun if I ain't got no, no money.
So
you know
it's all about money then?
Yeah, that's initially what it stems from.
I guess,
you know what I mean?
the average person be asking, well, what about true love? You know, Bradley, what about true love? What about your soulmate getting married? What about that?
Well, maybe later on in my life, but right now I'm asking for my rations. I don't have no time for that, so, you know, that's not even a part of this game that we're doing.
You ever been in love, square kind of love?
Yeah, when I was younger in my life, you know what I mean? I probably had my little heart broke or something, you know, or something like that, but not really since I've been grown. Not since. Yeah, I probably have, man. Yeah, I say I have. But not since I've been grown, since I've been pimping, it ain't even been like that.
You don't want to be like that?
No, it's not going to get like that because then, you know, if I get the cross like that, it won't be about my money no more. And the bitch will feel like, you know, the most of them feelings going to get in the way of her horn, and I can't have that.
Well, most people be thinking right now, that's cold-blooded, Bradley.
No, that's not really cold. It all depends on who you are, you know what I mean? For the bitch, it's not cold-blooded if she fucking with you, you know? Right. Any bitch like you will give you anything you want.
Right. Well, let me ask you like a more upbeat question here.
Okay.
If there was any celebrity woman you could turn out, who would it be?
I don't know, because sometimes it don't really be about the beauty of the bitch. It be about the duty of the bitch. Any old regular, you know, all-American, blue eyes, blonde hair, and dirty feet, Peckerwood bitch at work. You know what I'm talking about? If she got her mind right, not really no celebrity. Pamela Anderson, yeah, blonde, big blonde. That'll get my oil, you know. I look at it for face value, for what it's worth, you know. Chop, anything exotic, you know what I'm talking about? It'll really be cool.
Well, break down, since you talk about chop, break down all the slangs for all the
well, like some like Oriano, some from over there somewhere, you know what I mean? It's kind of rare, you know what I mean, to get one of them and flip it, and you know what I mean? Buddha head, chop.
White girl?
Well, no, that's a Chinese, Japanese.
I'm going to go down the line of all the girls. Tell me what.
Oh, white girl? Yeah. WW, white woman, Peckerwood, right. All-American, right. Almighty Whitey. Black woman, duck, you know what I mean? Hammerhead. Meat cleaver, you know what I mean? They got a whole bunch of words for them low down dirty motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? But I fucks with them when they fuck with me, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Why the black woman got the worst name though? They got the duck.
Well, no, it's just, you know, pimp got to be, you know, ready and polished to pimp on a duck. You know, most pimps, you know what I mean? That's what they had in the beginning of their career, you know what I mean? And it kind of made you rough around the edges, you know what I mean? Filed you on down, you know what I mean? The pimp on a black bitch, that's cool.
Right.
And I have them now to this day. Got one now.
A black woman.
Ain't no question.
So you respect women?
It depends. If she respect herself, if she got some self-respect, I'm a respecter. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, but if she cross my path and she's fucking with me, if it's a hoe, you know what I mean? I'm gonna respect this pimping, you know, and the bitch gonna have to respect that.
Right.
Yeah.
What kind of childhood you have?
Pretty good upbringing, pretty good in school. Always was in school, you know what I mean, like that.
Right. Finished school and.
Yeah, I finished high school.
Right.
And just started getting in trouble, you know. I was a few different other things before I got pimping. You know, when I was a child, I did all the burglarizing, stealing, all the normal shit, you know what I mean?
Right.
The motherfucker in the ghetto do, you know what I'm saying? But since I've been grown, I've been pimping, so, you know, that was my education now.
Roll out. Go ahead. So tell me, you know, so you don't hear no stories from your girls about tricks?
Yeah, sometimes.
What's the nastiest thing you heard? What's the most, they don't have to be nasty, what's the craziest shit? Craziest trick story.
A bitch had to stick a vegetable carrot in a trick's ass. The bitch tell me this. I done witnessed this. The bitch stuck a long vegetable carrot right in the motherfucker's ass, and the bitch get $500 for doing that, you know. And that's how that worked out. Yeah. I kind of found that was kind of comedy, you know. Yeah, that's about the weirdest one.
A carrot.
A big vegetable carrot, thick, long one, the hoe said.
What makes a vegetable carrot different than a carrot?
Man, what make it dig in here, huh? Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that was some strange shit.
Ooh, wait. Is a pimp just another job? Do you look at it as the same thing?
Same thing as a regular job.
Tell me.
And I pay my taxes.
You pay taxes?
Yeah, every time the bitch go to jail, every time the vice get my business and the hoe go to jail, you know what I mean? I got to bail the bitch out. I consider that my tax.
Are you proud of your pimping?
Ain't no question.
Right.
The most powerful thing in the universe, to me.
Right. But do you liken it to anything else in society as far as other jobs that people have? I'm saying, is it the same to you as, say,
A 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I consider it is.
Right.
Yeah, I work.
Tell us about, you know, most men out there think that you gotta have a big dick or really dicking down a bitch to turn her out.
Yeah.
To get it sprung on you. Is that true?
No, that has no bearing on nothing that you do is
What has
pimping.
no bearing?
Sex ain't even the thing, the issue. You don't have to have no big dick. You just got to have a big brain through here, through your mouth, you know what I mean, to be pimping on that hoe's head. It ain't no sexual thing at all.
Right.
I done had hoes for 6 months and never ran up in them.
Right.
Yeah.
How long you plan on pimping?
Well, this is just a stepping stone, too, to do something else that I probably want to do in my life, you know what I'm saying? But I got another good 10, 20 years strong on getting something out of bitch's ass.
What do you?
You know, yeah, that's real.
When you retire?
Well, you know, I might do what you do, man. That'd be clever for me, man, to do something like what you do, man. Give me the plug, you know. Yeah. I figured out the next 10 years getting out the bitch's ass, that's going to give me plenty of time to figure it out.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, and any bitch that might even see my face on this here can come on and fuck with me. Yeah. Right now.
Major campaign. All right. Good. Great job, man. Good job.
I had to get my plug in.
That's fucking hilarious. That is hilarious, man. And you know, there are videos upon videos of these guys on YouTube, man, these pimps. And the way they talk about women, the way they treat women, man, is absolutely abhorrent. But their lyrics are strong, man. Say once they're socking into my pocket, they'll skyrocket, be able to skyrocket. Come on, man, this guy is absolutely comedy gold, man. The pimp game is up. It's a pimp's discretion where he wants his women to sleep. It's a pimp's discretion. You heard the man. Bradley Honorable, American pimp. It's a pimp's discretion. Oh my goodness, man. Let's run back through our top stories, man. Oh my goodness. So we talked about this oil spill in Tobago, you know, this massive oil spill in Tobago. It's a national disaster, but Dr. Keith Rowley, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, said there's a national disaster, that oil spill. They're trying to get to the bottom where the ship came from. They know the ship is a Turkish registered ship, but they're not sure exactly where it came from. So investigations are ongoing right now. People have already started to assume, or I shouldn't say assume, it started to speculate it came from Venezuela, transporting Venezuelan oil to somewhere else. Now, the ship was supposedly carrying lumber, but that's too much oil for just a lumber ship that's gone on the Tobago coast. If you see the oil spill in any pictures, any videos online, you'll see exactly what we're talking about. It's too much oil just for a regular ship, a regular tanker. Nayib Bukele's been returned, officially ratified as president of El Salvador for second consecutive term right now. So you want to wish Nayib Bukele, the Latin America's most popular president right now, leader right now. He's really cleaned up El Salvador. So we want to say, you know, Godspeed to Mr. Nayib Bukele. in his second term. Then we also have the enigmatic Ralph Thorne from Barbados, the Christchurch South Member of Parliament for in Barbados. He officially defected from the Barbados Labour Party, and now he's the leader of the opposition, a man of one, an opposition member of one, against the other 29 members of the Barbados Labour Party parliamentary majority. So it's not a full majority anymore for the Barbados Parliament. You know, there's one opposition leader now, and that's Ralph Thorne. And everyone's waiting to see what he's going to do. Is he going to join Dr. Ronnie Yearwood with the Democratic Labour Party, or is he going to remain independent, or is he going to start his own third party? We have to see. You know, people are just wondering what Mr. Thorne's going to do. But I had a feeling that not everyone was going to be satisfied in the Barbados Labour Party. You know, when you have a majority like that, someone's going to be left out. There's only so much cabinet positions that can actually be handed out to everybody. There's only so many jobs in the government that people could have. So we'll see how long, you know, this drags on now. But apparently now, at least the Barbados Parliament has an opposition member, and that's Mr. Ralph Thorne, the Member of Parliament for Christchurch South. So we want to wish Mr. Thorne and all his endeavors the very best. Then also we have Venezuela now, you know, putting the military on the border with Guyana right now. Again, they're threatening Guyana, just as the Guyana now has signed new oil contracts. They signed an oil contract with this Norwegian company, Deep Ocean, for subsea construction, inspection, maintenance, and repairs for their oil rigs and their oil lines in Guyana. And Venezuela is saying that, you know, some of these companies are being given contracts in the disputed area, the Essequibo region, that they actually went to St. Vincent the Grenadines for in December to have some arbitration and have some kind of formal agreement not to go to war and not to raise any tensions on that border region right now. So we have to see exactly what Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela is going to do. But, you know, Guyana is moving ahead with their, you know, their oil industry. So Godspeed with Guyana. We also talk about Alexei Navalny, the Russian opposition leader that died in prison yesterday. Everyone's wondering now whether he was poisoned, whether he was killed by the Russian government. He's a very outspoken critic of Vladimir Putin and anti-corruption. He's an anti-corruption leader as well. And so he's died in, you know, a Russian prison after being sentenced to 19 years in prison. He only served about 4 or 5 of those years. And so he had quite a long while more to go inside a Russian prison, but he died. And so everyone wants to wonder why, what happened. This is right after Vladimir Putin had this huge interview with Tucker Carlson about his activities in the Ukraine and how he's involved in all these other things. Whether or not he's going to invade places like Poland next after the Ukraine. And so everyone now is, you know, looking at Russia right now and seeing if whether or not Putin had anything to do with this man's death. So the doctors are now investigating now to see exactly what happened to Alexei Navalny. So we're just waiting for them to say. But most likely they're controlled by the Kremlin anyway, the Russian Secret Service and the Russian government. So we have to take it with a grain of salt. So we'll see what happens afterwards. Yeah, we played a video from the BBC on that. And lastly, that hilarious video from American Pimp. You know, I have to find that full movie. You know, it's not on YouTube. Usually they would post full movies on YouTube. I probably have to go on Netflix or something like that to find that full movie. I like to see that in time movie because I love these pimps. I've watched a few other videos of these pimps, these American pimps. Bishop Don Juan. And you have these other guys too. I watched a guy on the Soft White Underbelly ran by Mark Later called Pimp Scene. You know, these guys have amazing stories, man, how they deal with women, how they treat women. You know, it's absolutely amazing, man. So, yeah, that's the show for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I thank you so much for tuning in for another Lime Vibe Live podcast. If you have not done so, please like, share, and subscribe to our Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch page, please. That's Lime Vibe 77. That's Lime Vibe 77. That's a number 77 on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. And there's a link inside the description that send you to a payment gateway, and you can donate anything that you want to the Lime Vibe Live podcast. We really would appreciate that. So thank you so much for joining us for another Lime Vibe Live podcast. Tune in to us again next week as we, you know, have another slate of conversations and topics to talk about. So thank you once again. Goodbye. Yori Kemp.